No green light. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Hebrew fans, this is Todd. So I thought, what the heck, I'll do a video, just kind of talk about some updates, things going on. Oh man, it even has the wrong picture on there. I hate when it does that. This is my standard picture I have for my channel, and sometimes it has that pop up instead of the picture I took for it. Oh well. Anyway, if you're here, go and sound off so I can see who's here and who's not, and we'll go from there. Randy, thanks for joining us. Glad you're here, man. So, hey, Jinx Caliber, thanks for being here. So, as many of you guys know, I got the bear one done. I made the video earlier, as you saw, and my Spirit of Grayskull finished printing. So that was pretty cool. Now, what's weird is it's way shinier. The new printer makes it shinier than the old printer did. It's the exact same plastic. Nothing's changed there. So I'm guessing it must do it at a higher temperature or something, because it is way shinier than it was. Oh, I didn't grab my needle nose pliers. Hopefully I can get these off without destroying them. I may have to wait to take us apart after the video. Maybe I could run and grab some needle nose pliers in a few minutes. Ugh. I'm just afraid trying to break these pieces off here without them. I may end up breaking the little arms off. It's always scary pulling this stuff off. It's like hard, brittle plastic for the glow-in-the-dark stuff. Which is never fun if you step on it in the middle of the night. It's like little chunks of sharp Lego. It's worse. It's the worst kind of plastic I have, I think, is this glow-in-the-dark stuff. Anyway, let's look at you guys' questions. Hey, look at that. We have Nerf Curator in the house. Hey, Brian. Thanks for joining us, man. So if you guys don't know Brian, he does a lot of cool Nerf stuff. And one of his fortes is he actually changes the springs in his Nerf guns to make them more powerful. And if I'm not mistaken, Brian, don't you have like a some kind of thing that tracks the speed of them when they shoot them out of the gun, like some kind of a speed tracker thing like the police have? Jason's here. Jason, thanks for joining us. Pop Actor. Todd, do you think the Origins are making figures from the sticker dungeons? They already started one. That would be so cool if we got all the figures from the sticker dungeon. You know what they need to do next is to make the dungeon to put all the figures in. That would be so cool. I've been tempted to make all the customs of the figures and then put them in my own little dungeon I made a long time ago. But if they do it for us, how cool is that? That would be pretty cool. It's funny when watching this Stargate Atlantis, and the one I saw last night, they had all these things that look like these growing out of this lady, the doctor lady, who was infected with some kind of weird virus thing. And it kind of reminds me of that, these little tentacles coming off here for the tree parts. It's funny, as I watch that show, I get all excited about getting the Eternia playset, because I think of the Eternia playset like the Atlantis place they find, you know. So I imagine it's, you know, how the people on Eternia found Eternia, the Eternia, you know, city, how it was unearthed, and here's all these ancient wonders that are more advanced than what they're using now. So all these magical, mystical looking stuff that's really just high tech. Anyway, let's take a look at your guys' questions while I'm sitting here pulling this poor thing apart. It looks so cool. Wait, it looks like an octopus. It does look like an octopus, kind of. It is actually the Spirit of Grayskull. And I'll be turning off the lights here once my phone in the other room's done charging, I'll go grab it so I can use it to control the lights. And we will make this thing glow. Now, I still got to put my paint on it. What a pain getting all these things off of here. The supports are such a pain. But it's a necessary evil. You got to have them, otherwise can't have stuff to print on. Now, there are people that do get multiple print heads, where one of the print heads has like a water soluble stuff for the supports, and you just put it in water and literally soak them off, which is pretty cool. That's a really cool idea. I don't have a dual extractor. I have two printers now, but they're both extractors are on their own separate printers. But I have thought it'd be kind of cool if they made something where you could put your own supports already down. Because some things I build, it has so many supports on it, it'd be cool if it can build around pre-existing supports, especially on the bottom you already have. I'm definitely have to sand this bottom edge, so it's pretty sharp if I don't. Alright, where is my screwdriver? I was just wondering if I was tripping. I prefer the vintage color of Manny Faces. Manny Faces, the new Target release, next to my son, he was a weird yellow, like mustard. Yes. Jason, let's go ahead and take a look at the two Manny Faces, because that's actually a really good point. Let me go and grab my Manny Faces from the 80s. Manny! All right. Here is my 80s figures. My favorite ones are in here. And here is my Manny Faces from the 80s. Dun dun dun. And he's so orange. It's crazy. And it's supposed to be a skin color, but the weird part about it, if that's a skin color, it's kind of going, his tubes are going into this flesh. That's really bizarre. Now I got a light here. Let's put this light on there. There we go. And let's go ahead and grab the Manny Faces of today. Excuse me. And yes, they did make him very yellow. Now, just for kicks, let's grab the Classics Manny Faces, which we actually had a vote on, I believe. And they decided to go with a fan favorite for the colors. And they went with the colors of the original prototype, which I just love the colors on this guy. Oops. And look how cool the Classics colors look. They was always rumored they were going to come back and redo another color Manny Faces in orange, but they never got around to it. Now I have another Manny Faces somewhere that has a different color tube set from the 80s. So he had purple and he had pink. So the two variants was pink tubes and purple tubes. And so that was the two variants they had back in the 80s. Stand, man, here's that guy to lean against. There we go. But yeah, I think the orange was a mistake originally, and the yellow, I don't know what they were thinking. I really like the skin tone. Let's take a look at one of the original card art backs. Stand, man. So this is the original card art back, and you could see the color was not, of course, now you can't see nothing. I keep thinking it's like my iPad won't light up though automatically. You can see the color though was more skin tone than orange. And his tubes didn't go directly into his body. This is from the old 80s cards. And it's made a lot more like the Classics. You can kind of see how that looks more like Classics with the styling of the tubes. All right, let me hang this back on the wall. We'll look at you guys' other questions. Oh, man, he took a dive. I remember the commercial as a kid. It was so cool. It would show Manny faces, and the dad would be outside the castle, and the kid would have the Manny Faces toy, and he would go to different parts of the castle and show different faces, so that the bad guys thought there was more than one warrior inside protecting the castle. And really, it was just Manny running around all different windows, hey, and changing his face to hide his numbers. That there were only one, but yet the evil guys thought there was three. Actually, I'll make him the robot and make him the monster. There we go. Dun dun dun. All right, Mike Fee said you missed the Hebrew dancers. That's true. If you missed my video last time, you missed the Hebrew. Jeff says, hi, Hebrew. Your castle is looking awesome. Thank you so much. And for those that didn't know, let's check this. Let me zoom in on these flames right here. And let me go ahead and take my remote control and click on. Boop. Ta-da! And the flames light up. Let's light the other one up too. Boop. So, yes, it is starting to come together. I have lots and lots of walls made now that need to be broke out of their shells. Just like I'm breaking this thing out. Oop, don't fall. But I'm having a really hard time getting these things made. That's what's holding me up on all the orders right now. As you guys know, I had one mailed the other day that ended up breaking. And I've had a couple of them during print not quite work out either. As you can see here, they keep not printing correctly. No, so the top won't print right. And so this area is really thin right here on the resin ones. And so it ends up just cracking. Let me show you. And so what happens is it builds up sludge inside the printer because as it prints it upside down, it has supports all the way along here. And those supports are dripping down, creating a sludge in the bottom of the printer. And for some reason, that sludge makes it so this part doesn't print, and it messes it all up. So I decided to go back to the drawing board and just try this just to see how it would work. This is ridiculous. This is probably not the final design, but I printed it with it leaned over at 30 degrees like that in the printer so the sludge wouldn't fall directly in that spot. And then I beefed up the sides so it's like way thicker now. You can just see the heftiness in it. It weighs a lot more. It takes a lot more plastic. So you can see the difference between the two sides and how the new one is like super hefty. And it does weigh a whole lot more too. And it took a lot of plastic to print. I had to go down and refill the plastic during the print. I haven't even test fit it yet to see how it fits. And it's crazy as it did have an error at the very beginning when I first started printing. But then for some reason it did keep working. So let's go ahead and do a fit test on this. And it's funny because my first one printed just fine. The one I just took out of there. And ever since then I'm having a really hard time trying to get a second one to print right. So let's see. Hey, that does fit. Look at that. Dun, ta -da. So the thicker one does fit in there, so cool. So right now I'm trying to print a second one of these to see what happens. I'm afraid because I can hear the suction forming on the bottom of the piece downstairs on the printer, so we'll see if it's successful or not. But if it is, a lot more stronger build. Granted, I have to go down and pour more plastic in it later, or more resin. But very beefy, very heavy. But, you know, like I said, I'm trying different ones, and I will give people options when it comes time for those who already ordered ahead of time. obviously that would stink if you got this home, right? And it made it all the way through shipping and you got it, and then all of a sudden it falls on the floor or something else, or somebody karate chops it on you and it just snaps right there. That would really stink. So I do have the other one made in FDM. That's a whole lot stronger, way stronger than the resin, which I showed you guys the other day. And I'll probably be trying to refine the FDM one too. Yes, the mistakes could have potential. I may sell some mistakes online on eBay, because you can still use the mistakes. All right, check this out. They still work for support. So, but it doesn't have the little hook piece in there to keep it in. Oh, there goes Beast Man. But you can still use them for support just the same way. Just doesn't have the pin to keep it in. The pin to keep it in. But being it has such a huge base on the bottom, it does stay pretty good. So if somebody was like, you know, I really kind of wanted the bigger form one, but I didn't want to spend a ton of money on it, you could go with just these little broken pieces here, and even make your own arch across the top, or have them as ruins. And the nice part is you can actually put them elsewhere. You don't have to put them in the right spot, because there's nothing holding them together in the middle. So I know somebody else said just make pillars, but I don't want pillars. I really like the arch personally, but we shall see. Anyway, that is my journey with those arches. Yeah, it could be used for crumbling ruins, or if somebody wanted to, they could use it and then build their own arch in the middle between them out of Sculpey or something else, and then just you know, cook it in the oven. All right, so let me finish knocking these pieces off of here. Wow, these are really sharp. Let's look at your guys' questions. I don't remember the vintage problems with the floors. Yeah, the vintage ones did have some problems, but not as many, because the floors are made of hard plastic, where these new ones are made out of that softer plastic. So it has more issues with the floors. The classics have the same problems too. So if you have the classics Castle Grayskull, I actually used coat hangers originally for the classics one, like I did at this one. But I'll be making the same type of thing for my classics castle in the future. I don't know how to make the exact same sort of thing, because I also want to increase the floor size right in front of the chair. So I hate that the chair just literally, if you were to slide out of the chair, you'd fall to your doom. So you fall asleep in the chair, you could be signing your own death warrant. So that does kind of stink. That is one little small piece right there. I could see that breaking way too easy. All right, I'm going to have to finish cleaning this thing up later, probably. All these little sharp chunks everywhere. Sharp chunks. Ugh. And it still needs a paint job too. But once it's all done, I got to take out the centerpieces too. Where's that screwdriver? So crazy. Like, I think his printer must have did it hotter, because I don't remember being this difficult to take off the glow-in-the-dark stuff. And it's way shinier, like I was saying. It's way more brittle sounding. So I'm thinking the temperature was higher on it. So my first version, I forgot to put this little track in here on the bottom. And if you don't do this, it can't fit on top of the castle, because there's a little spot there for a figure to put its foot into. And if you don't have this channel made, and it stunk too, because when I first did it, I didn't have this base thick enough to hold the channel. So I had to actually redesign the bottom of this base to facilitate that channel. And what's nice is being as a channel, you can actually rotate it a full 360 all the way around on the top. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Is right up here. They got the piece right here, and then this little spot there for a foot. Well, if you don't have this channel cut out, then it will ride up on top of that little peg for your foot. Or not for your foot, but for the figure's foot. So you have to have the channel and the hole in order to make it work. All right, let me go grab my phone, see if it's charged. Then I'll come back and answer some more of your guys' questions. Yeah, I'm guessing the plastic was a lot hotter when it was pushed through the it's a much better printer than my first one, so that's probably why it's that way. I'll be right back. Hey, beautiful. I stuck my glow-in-the-dark flashlight. No? 99%. Shut that door. Yeah. I can't find my black light flashlight either. I don't know where I stuck it at. I had it in the other room. All right. Let's just charge this up with normal light. Not as cool, but it will still work. Burp, 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 burp. Lights off. Ooh, there we go. Pretty cool. It's funny, I made a whole bunch of these, but didn't make one for myself. And so it's kind of funny as I ended up selling a bunch, and all I kept was the giant one for myself for my classics. And I thought, you know what? I should probably have kept at least one for me to put my castle. What's with the watchtower thing next to Castle Grayskull? This right here? That is my Brave Star fort for when I do my stop motion for Rio Blast. Hey Eric, my day was great today. Thanks for asking, man. Whatever happened to Cheryl? She used to chat with us. That's a good question. I wonder if she's on the lounge. Yeah, it's funny is I got all this glow-in-the-dark stuff all over this room from all the stuff I've printed. As you guys know, I've made my slime monster and he glows in the dark. And then I have my big giant Spirit of Grayskull. Have you guys ever seen my giant one? I'm sure everyone here has, but for those that haven't, here's my big monster Spirit of Grayskull that glows in the dark, and he glows white instead of green, and so he's just like monstrously huge. This one's based off of the original one. You can just see the size difference, but I always wanted a giant one to put on my Classics Castle Grayskull. And I actually sold one of these, but it was so much money to ship, it kind of wasn't worth it for the guy. But it's kind of cool. I made the top kind of bluish. I made the bottom kind of greenish, like it's, you know, changing color as it goes up out of the castle. And it also has the channel, even though you don't need it for the Classics one. But I just left it the same. But there it is. There is the giant Spirit of Grayskull. I'll put it back on top of my Classics castle. I know it makes this one look almost pretty lame next to it. That's the little one. This is why Todd needs to make some of us mods. Uh-oh, are we getting bad things again? don't see any. Where do you fit that one? Actually, it goes on top of my other Grayskull, the Classics one. It fits up there really nice. Let's see. My wife can display her She-Ra collection and saves me room in my collection. Nice. Hey, Snooker, thanks for joining us. Yep. And it's funny, too, because I was going to make one a long time ago, and I actually took the comic and made a, big old huge giant one, and it took up like a whole bunch of pages of paper. You had to pull the paper together and tape them all together. I was going to make it out of that white not plexiglass, but corrugated plastic. And so I was laying it out on top of it, getting ready to cut it out, and I saw the thing they were going to make this. I thought, you know what? If they're going to make one, even better yet. Let's see, get the lights back on. Lights on. Okay. Oh, bright light. Yeah, then I have all these guys still encased that I haven't broken out of their slime pit yet, or slime. The slime pit monsters are still, these things glow in the dark too. Then I got a bunch of scare glows around the room. So it's funny, when I turn the lights off, there's just stuff glowing everywhere in this room. It's just such a pain to break them out of these, because it's the same type of deal where it's really hard to get them out. And you almost break the figure trying to get it out every single time. The big one's not as bad, but the small one's really hard to break out. I guess I could start to break them out of here. If I ever get out of here. It's almost like he's coated in some kind of glow-in-the-dark slime. It's kind of cool, really. Because if you hit him with a good UV light, this doesn't glow as bright as the stuff underneath because it's way thinner. So I don't know if you can see it or not with the light, but his real parts are much thicker inside there. And so it does look like it's some kind of crazy glow-in-the-dark slime all over him. Let's see. Bojack, huh? Let's see, is Mike on here? Mike, I'm going to make you, there's some way to do it. Let's see, add moderator. There we go. Mike, you are a moderator now, so you can help fix things for me. Mike's like, what? I didn't ask for this job. Video froze. No, I just haven't moved my camera around for a while. Ugh. There we go. Ban me, Mike. All right. Cool. I wonder if it's going to leave you as a moderator forever, Mike, or just for this one thing. That'd be cool if it just keeps you as a moderator. Oh, look at that. You're blue now. That's funny. It shows the wrench by your name, too. Mike's been promoted. I got the wrench. What's weird is it didn't change the ones before that were already green. That's cool. Hey, thanks, Lorian. I appreciate it. Yeah, if Mike's not around, I'll have to make you a mod sometime. All right. Well, that is all that I have today. Let me see if I answered all your guys' questions. Pop actor. I have 20 years of mod experience. Nice. That is excellent. I'm hoping to make a video coming up. I just bought a table just for the video, so I can put this Grayskull on there. And once I finish my Spirit of Grayskull, I'm gonna make the. Oops. I'm gonna make a video called the Ultimate Origins Grayskull, and show off the whole thing with the lights and everything, and be able to spin around Grayskull on the table so we can see it from the front and the back and through the door and everything else. And it should be pretty cool. And of course, I'll be featuring my top 11 figures, which you guys have seen many times now. I think his head came out pretty good. I know I shouldn't be grooving on my own stuff, but look at the difference between the brown and the red. It's just crazy how just adding those little highlights or those little tints can make all the difference in the world. I know you guys already saw the video, and I shouldn't keep grooving on my stuff, but I was pretty happy how that came out with the coloring. You need a basement. That would be handy. Yes, a basement would be cool. He does have fur all over his body. I like how this looks. It's not exactly like the prototype. Obviously, it doesn't have the big old metal gloves and everything else. But I think for a quick custom, basically, I was going to turn him into Beastman, as I mentioned before. But like I said, it would take a while to get all the armor to fit on him. And this was just something quick and easy. Oh, he's just taking out everybody. He took out both Ram Man and Manny Faces. He's not even trying. He's not even breaking a sweat. But I am customizing this guy. I got some cool plans. I have little Beastman parts all over the place, ready to be made into something. So that will be cool. Basements are as rare as gold unicorns where I live. It's so rainy and wet. Like, yeah, I'm not going to make them all furry like Grizzlor. It would be kind of cool, but Grizzlor is the only one that's going to get fur. I just am not a fan of the soft goods. I never really have been a fan of the soft goods, both the fur and the cloth capes and everything else. The cloth capes are starting to grow on me a little bit because of Thundercats. They got a lot of cloth goods on them. But I'm the real Beastman. He just grabs the club. His skin's so thick, they don't even puncture through his hands. Oh. I wish his mouth was articulated. That would have been a cool... Oh, no, I spun his head right off. Okay. So here's the cool little piece that I made for those that missed the other video. And yes, it's a free STL download, so you can print your own if you have a 3D printer. It's just hard to get his head lined up with the armor. There we go. Hooray. Thanks, TrapJaw72. Let's see. Snooker says, I really enjoy a good wired cape. Try to put your mouse pad in the middle of Grayskull. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Let's put these lights back inside their respective spots here. There we go. Dun, ta-da. Now the whole thing is making a wired cape isn't as easy. I have I've tried before. I imagine it would be kind of hard to make that double seam, put the wire in there, and not have it move around. Yes, Mike. Thank you. Mike has plugged the channel. Wow. Congratulations. You're getting married tomorrow at 2 p.m.? Okay. What kind of cake toppers do you have, man? Do you know? I mean, did somebody make you a He-Man and Tila in some sort of a, wedding dress and where is my He-Man? Here he is. Ugh, and a top hat or something. Because I've seen people do that before where they use He-Man and Tila for their cake toppers. You should build a basement level for Castle Grayskull. I have thought of about that before. Don't forget about the bell. Being married for me is like being burned, laughing out loud. Wow. Wait, I don't like that Bear Man as Beast Man. Beast Man is an ape, nothing else. And that's okay, Chris. I mean, like I said, this was just based on the original design. Yeah, what the heck? You might have missed the video, so I will pull it out. The most coolest Masters of the Universe book in the world. The Power and Honor Foundation book. Dun dun dun. Like I've told you guys many times, if you find one of these, just buy it. Worry about the cash later on. Almost there. There it is. So here's what it was loosely designed on, man. So I too do prefer the original Beastman as well, not the bear one. This was just something kind of for fun, and you can see, like someone's mentioned before, he's got a whole lot of fur like Grizzlor. So that was the original Beastman design. They had to change it because it was too close to the Wookiees from Star Wars. So that's why they had to change it. And he has a big metal claws on. And look at that. He even has all the little things around, just like Fisto does on the edge of the claw gloves. It's like those digger claws you can buy for digging in your garden. All right. See, now you're like, I don't even need to see the video. He just re-showed everything he did in the last video here live. Yeah. Let's see. It's like Mike's been doing some deleting. Message deleted by Mike Fee. Wow. Jason, I don't know what you said, but Mike is on you. Sorry, Jason, I was scrolling. That's funny. Yes, like Chewbacca. What the heck is this? Oh, bending some figure down there. Yes, I could see that. You obviously don't want to get sued by 20th Century Fox. That would be bad. Yes, for me, if they would have made classics without the pinholes, it would have been the superior figure all the way around. These 4 pinholes used to be 6 pinholes. Drive me crazy. I guess it's more than 6. You have both sides, but if you only count just the one side on each side, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then these would be the ankles too. And I know some people have been really clever and have filled their pinholes with all kinds of stuff. Sculpey and whatever else, but at one time we used to ask Mattel, just give us a pack of pinholes. We can just plug them in our own figures, a bunch of plugs. Of course, imagine all the different skin tones they'd have to have. Classics and Origins are the 2 best for me. Yes, Origins are a lot of fun. I've been having a blast. And as you guys know, I like to mix my Origins with Masterverse 2 just to make them have a little bit of extra oomph to them. And of course, this Beastman is pretty cool, even though he's Masterverse. I mean, I have to admit, Beastman is awesome. The new He-Man is pretty cool too. And then Fisto was pretty cool. Man at Arms is pretty cool. They got some good ones. Yeah, I've thought about 3D printing plugs, but on what you use though, you still have to paint them to match. And that's where you start getting into trouble, is trying to find a way to paint them to match when you got all the different shades of Skeletor, He-Man, you know, all the different skin tones and all the figures, and the females' arms are even smaller. It'd be a pain trying to get plugs to even stay in. You'd have to glue them too and not glue the edges. So either you glue only the edges and not the bottom, so they move with the arm. That's probably the best way to do it. Or glue them on the pins themselves. Either way, if they start to get messy as time goes on, it would just ruin all your classics, because now you have, you know, paint that's getting yucky on there and glue, and takes away their repairability. So it would be cool, but I think for a secondary collector, if you ever decide to sell your collection, if you have all those pins in there, or plugs, oh, most of those miss the garbage. I think it might lower the value. I gotta find a new place for my flag. Oop. So I've had a lot of questions about why I didn't make the floor fit the dungeon that it came with in that pack. Let me go and grab it really quick. So a lot of people keep asking, how come it doesn't fit this right here? And there's a number of reasons why. Well, one, if I would have made it fit this, then I couldn't have made the wall supports work either, because it still wouldn't fit in there. And so there is one guy online, he's planning on buying my floors and then taking and cutting out the square himself. And so I told him to take pictures when he's done, so I can see how that looks after it's cut out. But you know, you could just throw it right on top of there. I mean, you don't really have to stick it under. This thing is so fragile. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just stick it on there. I mean, yeah, it's not quite as cool. This was such a bad design to begin with. That's also why I'm not a fan of this. It doesn't have the right number of squares. It doesn't match the sticker. It's too big and bulky. It blocks half of the castle door. It doesn't fit in there right. There's just too many things wrong with this. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, there's my 25 cents worth. I know, it's more than two. And now my iPad is dead, so I'm going to end this video soon. Let me look at your guys' last few questions. Todd, put it on the other side. On this side over here? Away from the pit? Or you mean all the way over here? There we go. Yeah, it's just a bad design. I'm turning my Masterverse Skeletor figure in 2000X Skeletor. Nice, Taylor. Hey, Jason, we'll see you later. I was looking for him and timed out Jason. Mike, you give you a little bit of power and you just go all the way. Oh, that's funny. All right. Anyway, thanks for joining me. It sounds awful. I have a bunch of helmets just sitting, waiting to finish painting the last couple coats on, and I just haven't got around to it. I think I might just do a live video and do it here on live video, so that way I can get it done, and maybe we can chit chat while I'm painting. Just so that I can, you know, get it done and be sitting actually doing it. But I have so many things going all the time that I just don't find the time to do those last two coats of paint on them. Man, that is one savage looking. I thought the one I made was pretty savage looking, but this one is far. I mean, look how tall that is. I mean, you think about it. If this is swinging to hit you, right? By the time this end here flings all the way down and hits you, that's traveling a lot of miles per hour for that arc. See, something smaller doesn't travel quite as fast, but this is so far out. I mean, this thing's got to be 4.5, 5 feet tall. Let's see, He-Man's supposed to be, what, 6'4"-ish? So yeah, probably about 5 feet. So imagine this. Well, of course, the fulcrum would be right here. So from the fulcrum point out, it's like 3.5, 4 feet. I mean, it's got to be more than 3 feet. It's got to be 4 feet at least. I mean, that is a lot of, plus the weight of it coming down. Now, the bad part is because the inertia of it coming down, trying to stop it, if someone dodges you out of the way, it's going to keep going all the way to the ground, and now you left yourself open for an attack. But either way. So, granted, if you actually hit with that, whew, that's going to be deadly. But if you miss with that, it's going to be tough to stop it from continuing all the way through. I don't think anybody else besides He-Man can actually hold their shield to that. And if you put a regular human in there holding their shield, and if he gets a good whap not in the center of the shield, that shield is going to fling over. Maybe even break your arm at the same time. Crazy. I know, they're just a bunch of plastic toys. Let's check out your final. Great, now I want pretzels. We have the corn on the cob sword and the pretzel club. The pretzel log. Oh. You know what's funny about that is when I was a kid, I played my He-Man figures. And that's not the one I wanted. All right. Here we go. And He-Man's hair always reminded me of vanilla frosted zingers. So I'd see his hair, especially the one that was more yellow than this. I don't have one now. When I was a kid, I had one that was pretty yellow. These ones are more orange. I had one that was pretty yellow. And just looking at the stripes on it always reminded me of the stripes of the zinger frosting. And so I'd always think of the vanilla zingers when I play with my He-Man figures. How messed up is that? The Dolly Madison one, not the Hostess ones. Of course, Hostess now owns them, so there you go. Of course, you guys have probably seen my Zinger video. I'm sure you have. You guys know that I love Zingers. Those who watch my stuff regularly. Yeah, Black Phoenix 77, pull them out. Have a good time with them. I mean, they are there. That's just funny. I remember on He-Man.org one time I mentioned that I played with my toys. They're like, what? What kind of person plays with their toys? And it was just funny because of the different levels of collectors, where those that actually play with their toys are almost looked down at a lower level than those that collect them. And people that are out in the world that don't collect, and instead play golf or do sports or own really cool cars or whatever else, they look at collectors as, oh, those guys collecting toys. Well, the toy collectors look at me as like even a lower level than that. Oh, it's somebody that plays with their toys. How low could that be? A friend told me, I'll check into this on the internet. Toys are meant to be freed in boxes. I need Hordak MX Beastman head. Masterverse 1 doesn't do it for me. Yeah, the Masterverse head's okay. It's not spectacular, but it's okay. Yes. Big Jim has a lot of stuff that was used. The Battle Cat came from Big Jim. The bird that we used came from Big Jim. The whip came from Big Jim. The hook from Webster is from Big Jim. There's some other parts too, and a lot of the concepts, like the turning of the heads for Manny Faces, was a Big Jim concept. They had actually had a Big Jim secret spy that did it, and a bad guy too. Trap Jaw was loosely based on a Big Jim toy. A lot of the concepts and figures and ideas, and even some of the molds from Big Jim were used. The attack track, they had the same type of thing for one of their vehicles too. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of Big Jim stuff. In fact, I believe the original prototypes that Roger Sweet presented were actually Big Jim dolls with clay on them to give them all the muscles. Let's take a look in the book. In the book, The Power and Honor Foundation. And let's find those pictures of those 3 figures that Roger Sweet turned in. And let's see what they look like. Yes, it's story time again. I know I got the Roger Sweet pictures in here somewhere. They're not in this book. I got another art book too. I'm pretty sure they're actually in both. There they are. Dun, dun, dun. So I guess the story, and it's funny, is Roger Sweet actually lives by me. I ran into him a couple times at the store, and the guys at Bobacon said he likes the hot dogs from Costco. He says, just invite him out to Costco for the hot dogs, and he'll be all over it, man. And so you can see here that these are actually Big Jim dolls coated with clay to make them look more muscular. And then they took the head from Boba Fett and put it on there, and some other things too. And the idea was that He-Man could be all these things: military, barbarian, space guy, and it was supposed to be kind of like he's an everything man. So there you go. Yep, right there. He modified an existing 9.5-inch Big Jim figure. Even though Big Jim's possessed an athletic builds, Sweet applied modeling clay and added an immense amount of muscle mass to the figure. The end result was incredibly, it goes on and on. There you go. So Big Jim was a huge part of He-Man to start with from the very beginning, even for the prototype. All right, I think that is a wrap. Let me check out any final comments. Boba Fedor. Did you say that new WWE Rock figure using the... Yes, I did see that. That looks pretty cool. I do not have his book. I do not have Master in the Universe, whatever it's called. Oh, a lot of influence from the canceled Jack Kirby Fourth World line too. Cool. A neat tank head there. Nice. I got the book a long time ago from He-Man.org when they had a secondary sale one time. Yep. There is. There's a Big Jim attack track. I forgot what it's called, but the Book of Power. Yes, when they saw the movie, they decided it was no good, Spider Rat. That is true. Pop actor, your imagination, it will grow again if you start doing stuff. It is crazy. You just start, pull out your figures, think of stories, and your imagination will come back, man. Don't worry about it, man. You still have it, you just haven't used it. Pop actress says, I'm sure I can find it in a PDF format. He-Man and Conan, what do you know about this? I'm not sure what you're really asking. Now, I did get the Super 7 Conan figures, some of them, and they're pretty cool. And I do know that originally they were planning on doing the, like someone mentioned earlier, the Conan line. But he needs to not have an imagination. Oh, that's what it was. The rise and fall of a billion dollar idea. Yes. And no, I don't have his book. All right. Anyway, like, subscribe, tell your friends. And until next time, good journey. Let's see, I heard that modem came in a way of Conan, and Mattel had to change something. All right, bye, you guys. Bye now.